Going on YouTube, CloverBells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be taking a look at another one of the Treasures of Ruin Pokemon in Wo-Chien. So we've covered pretty much all of them on the channel as of this moment. We did Chi-Yu along with Ting-Lu. They were both on the same team in one of our other team building videos, and then the previous one we had Xianpao with the Dragonite stuff, of course, and now we're going to be taking a look at Wo-Chien. So basically, I think this is the best of the four, in my opinion, just because of how I like to play, in terms of like a positional slower game, a little bit more of a balanced stuff. But basically, the way Wo-Chien works, if you look at its ability, Tablets of Ruin, so, things have their attack reduced, right? It's almost like a weaker form of Intimidate, just a little bit, right? So basically, if you look at this base stats here, like, the HP is pretty good, right? And then the special defense is really, really good. And then defense, because it has 100 defense, is actually also very good. So this is as bulky as it comes in terms of the Treasures of Ruin Pokemon. So now if you just max the HP, because you already have like very, very good special defense, and then you complement your already slightly high defense along with Tablets of Ruin, this thing is not dying, okay? And the main thing that you want to consider with Wo-Chien is this idea of leech seeding stuff. Where you're just, seeding things, and then you're alternating your protects, and then things get slowly chipped away, and then, everything just dies after a while, right? And there's a couple of ways to use the Wo-Chien stuff, but I think the best way to try and use it is trapping things with Gothitelle stuff, and then, just leech seeding them and healing the Gothitelle, so this way, they can't really kill the Gothitelle, and the way you do that is with Pollen Puff, right? So you can heal things, you can deal damage at the same time with Pollen Puff, and it's just a very, very good move. These are the 3 standard moves here. With this last one, a little bit of a tech choice with either something like Giga Drain, which is your stab move to get even more recovery so you can stay on the field and keep leech seeding things, or you go for the other tech move here with Foul Play over here, which is really nice. Again, some of the more physical options, you're able to deal a bunch of damage, especially if they want to set up with stuff like Swords Dance. It just does great damage overall. So, and then you just couple this with leftovers, and then, again, the Wo-Chien just stays on the field and does so much damage, just with chip damage alone. Okay, so now what we're going to dig into is, we'll take a look at some tournaments here, but more specifically, the NinoPokeBros Tournament that took place over the weekend, 100+ person tournament. I was waiting for this tournament just to see how well Wo-Chien did, and I actually won it. So go figure there. And there were some other Wo-Chien teams that were similar to the winning team, but I also want to look at just so that you can see some variance in terms of how you can play Wo-Chien and what kind of teams that are more successful using it. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so this is the Nino tour from the other night. So basically, again, if you look at Sanvi's team over here, it did have a Wo-Chien, and there was some offense here with Fluttermane stuff. And then if you just take a look at this team, all right, I just want to point your eyes over here. So you can see like it's Palafin, it's Fluttermane, and then you also have the combination of Ting-Lu. Like Ting-Lu Wo-Chien is like the ultimate definition of like bulk and things not dying. Because remember, Ting-Lu just reduces special attack damage, Wo-Chien reduces physical attack damage, and then, you can just heal your Ting-Lu so it can stay on the field and keep that ability going, and then you just leech seed everything, no damage is being dealt from the opponent on their side, and then just slowly chip things away with Ruination. So this way Leech Seed has more time to keep ticking away, and then you're just alternating these protects, and things have a harder time of dealing with these combination. And even if they switch out, you just keep clicking Ruination and keep clicking Leech Seed, and they have a hard time, right? And then over here, interestingly enough, again, there's no Gothitelle here, right? So there's no Perish combination here, but you do have the idea of Chi-Yu Fluttermane here, where you're just able to exert a lot of special attacking pressure. So therefore, you're not only relying on the Wo-Chien mode or even any kind of Perish. There is a Palafin here, there is an Iron Hands here. So like you have almost like the Perish core with like these 3 and then the Fluttermane. And then you just add a Chi-Yu element. So now you have like a bunch of special attack damage going, and then Ting-Lu for a little bit more support. Okay, and then, again, the strategy still remains the same. You can still do like Iron Hands Palafin stuff, where you can just, lead these 2, switch out the Palafin, go for Volt Switch, and then, go back into the Palafin next turn, and now you can just deal a bunch of damage after that, right? So that's one way to play this team with either the Iron Hands Palafin, or you can just rely on Wo-Chien Ting-Lu stuff, or even like Chi-Yu Fluttermane stuff. That's pretty much how it plays, and it's a really, really good team. 11-1's really nice in the start. But if we keep going down this list, there's other like Wo-Chien teams that were also really good. This one's also with like Chien-Pao Dragonite, so that's another thing you can consider doing. But there's another one here. Yeah, this one right here. So from Flames Illu, okay, I think that's how we say it. Okay, so this is one of the Paris variations, right? So again, Wo-Chien Fluttermane, Palafin Iron Hands, and then you have the Gothitelle over here, right? And then you have Volcarona as well, instead of like a Chi-Yu or instead of like Arcanine. So basically, this is the Giga Drain stuff instead of Foul Play, and it does have a Recovery Berry. But here is the Parasong on the Fluttermane, of course, as Focus Sash and Protect. And then the Gothitelle, you know, you get another Fake Out user just like the Iron Hands. You get a Taunt move, and then you get Psychic over here just for like one kind of target move, right? So basically, you can trap things with Gothitelle and Wo-Chien. You know, you click Giga Drain, not Giga Drain, you click Leech Seed on one slot, Fake Out another slot, Leech Seed the other slot, and then, you know, just keep healing your Gothitelle if it takes damage because, you know, your opponent wants to get rid of it, so this way they can start switching again and get out of the Leech Seed stuff. But if you keep healing your Gothitelle with Pollen Puff, then, you know, you're in a really, really nice spot. So it makes a lot of sense. And then remember, while Wo-Chien is out on the field, physical attack damage is reduced. So that's the other benefit there. And then Terra Steel Gothitelle is actually really, really nice, especially against the dark stuff that's running around, so you can kind of resist that. And then, of course, you still have the classic Iron Hands Palafin stuff. And Volcarona is actually really interesting here. I'm not sure why they opted for this one as opposed to like an Arcanine, you know, or even like a Tinglu kind of thing. But I mean, again, I'm not against Volcarona. We use Volcarona a lot on this channel. I just don't know about using it on a Perish team, but it works, right? You have Quiver Dance set up, and it's hard to remove, of course, you know, if you're just reducing physical attack damage, which Volcarona does not like at all. And you get a little bit more special attacking pressure, right? Because if there was Arcanine, your Flare Blitz is not doing as much damage, you know, if you have Wo-Chien out on the field. But at the very least, you're not completely reliant on physical damage because this is where your damage is coming from. And now at least you have another element with Fluttermane Volcarona. So another really, really good Perish team. So you can consider something like this. All right, but then if we keep going down the list, there's another one that I also want to look at in terms of like Wo-Chien. See, here's another one, right, with Palafin and then Chi-Yu as well. But I saw another one here that I liked. Where are you? Oh yeah, it's right here. The Valkyrie stuff. Okay, so if we even click this one, so Valkyrie VGC. So here's again, now this is the Arcanine instead of the Volcarona. So more or less a similar concept here. So Gothitelle with the Recovery Berry has Heal Pulse. So now, you know, Wo-Chien and Gothitelle both have a healing move. Okay, so you can heal yourself, and you know, things like Arcanine going for Flare Blitz, or even like an Iron Hands over here, which was in that slot, going for stuff like Wild Charge. If you can heal those Pokemon, they just stay on the field for a little bit longer, and you know, they just be annoying, right? But of course, again, with the Tinglu and Wo-Chien combination, you still see that, you know, just the ultimate damage reduction duo, and you know, you just heal each other with this and just deal a bunch of chip damage with Ruination. I think it makes a lot of sense. And here's the Perish element with the Fluttermane Gothitelle. So you see some similarities between all three teams, right? You know, they have like the same core, okay, but just like one or two mon differences, just depending on how they want to play the team, right? Terrafire is actually very interesting over here, but it makes a lot of sense, right? You can resist fire damage, but that's pretty much it in terms of like all three kinds of teams that we saw here. This one is also another one underneath. Yeah, again, pretty much the same idea. Actually, we'll just look at it. This one has Dragonite instead, you know, and then there's another Tinglu combination, but same idea. You know, Dragon Dance along with Multiscale plus the Wo-Chien Tinglu stuff to help Dragonite set this stuff up is actually really, really smart, and I like it a lot. And here's still the Parasong element, you know, and it's a Life Orb Fluttermane rather than Focus Sash. So that's also interesting. I don't know if that's ideal, but hey, it makes a lot of sense. So something like this is also very, very much playable. But again, the core is still the same in terms of what you want to do with Wo-Chien. All right, so now that we see how similar cores work. Oh, by the way, I just want to shout out right here. We had a couple people use our Fluttermane team. Here's another one that did use it. Raheem Brazil. I don't know who you are, Raheem, but also OG Mike, who also used our team, also went 4-3. Great job to both of you using our Fluttermane Chi-Yu team with Gyarados and Tinglu. I know this is mine, you know, because they said they were going to use it. So shout outs to both of them. All right, but now what we're going to do is head back into the Showdown ladder. And now I'm going to show you how to build our variation of a Wo-Chien team using some of those similar cores. All right, so let's take a look. All right, here we are. We're back on the Showdown ladder. And again, this is the set I like the most. I like Foul Play rather than Giga Drain. I just think Foul Play has a little bit more utility in terms of how you want to use it against some of these other big attackers, like another Iron Hands, a Great Tusk, a Palafin, things like this. I can see Foul Play having some good usage. So definitely keeping that there as opposed to Giga Drain. But if you, the viewer, want Giga Drain, go for it. I think they're both good moves. It just depends on how you want to play it. But I will go with Terra Poison here. I will do that just because at the very least, there's not a lot of Psychic stuff running around anymore because the Indeedee Armor stuff kind of suffers against all the Dark types. And at the very least, you can resist some of the Fairy damage. You can resist the Fighting damage. So the Terra Poison just makes a lot of sense on Wo-Chien, in my opinion. Okay, then from here, again, we're going to keep it with the Perish Core. I think it makes a lot of sense to try and use Wo-Chien. That's pretty much what it's built to do. It's just to be annoying, with the Leech Seed stuff. And if you can trap them in, you just make your Leech Seeds that much stronger. So again, we're going to go with Gothitelle over here along with the Fluttermane stuff. So now you also have the Perish element on your team, if you so choose to use it, right? And then from here, again, of course, Palafin makes a lot of sense. And then the Iron Hands over here, and then your fire type is going to be Arcanine. So it's almost like the original Perish stuff, just instead of the Amoonguss, we have a Wo-Chien. Okay, but again, what you can also do is if you want to use the Ting-Lu, you can just swap out the Iron Hands and then you can go with the Ting-Lu. And I guess I'll put two variants of this team, one with Ting-Lu, one without. But I just feel like the Iron Hands is going to exert a lot of pressure. It gives you another Fake Out user, and you can also have Trick Room on the Gothitelle, which we will. So that's another element that we can play as far as different modes of the team. But if you want both, I'll give you both. But at the very least, the way the team plays is more or less the same. Okay, but anyway, so here we are with Wo-Chien. Again, we've done the moves and we've done the items. We'll do the EVs at the end. But as far as rounding out the team, of course, this is going to be Shadow Tag. You're going to stop some switching. We're going to give this a Recovery Berry with Citrus, and then just Fake Out one attacking move. So this way, if we get taunted, we have something to click. Speaking of taunt, that's what we're going for here, and then Trick Room over here. Now, if you want, you can put Heal Pulse here rather than Trick Room or Taunt. So if that's what you want to do, definitely go for that. But I do like Trick Room just so that, the Iron Hands has a little bit more of a play mode over here, as well as the Wo-Chien. We're going to play it relatively slow. So that's the idea with this. And then Fluttermane over here, Focus Sash with the Parasong stuff. So it's going to be Shadow Ball, Moonblast. I like Moonblast a little bit more than Dazzling Gleam with the Parasong stuff. Parasong and then Protect. Okay. Then with the Palafin, Mystic, Water. Now, if you want to choose to do Life Orb just for a little bit more damage, you can. You always have a little bit of recovery with the Pollen Puff, but I don't think it's completely necessary. I think if you want to do it just to deal 1.3 damage rather than 1.2, I think it's still fine. But if you want that, definitely go for that. But here we are. Jet Punch and Wave Crash are your two water moves. Haze is really nice against other potential setup moves, and also really good into Dondozo if they're still running around. I still respect Dondozo no matter what. It's good team building, right? And until they stop top cutting, we're still going to respect it. That's my rule. Okay, Arcanine over here. So Safety Goggles, again, along with Terra Water, by the way. I just always like Terra Water here. And you can even go Terra Grass, but because we have the Goggles, I don't think you need to go Terra Grass. It's not important. The Goggles just allows you to get around the Amoonguss stuff. So there's the idea there. And then the Water stuff just lets you, just resist the water type attacks. All right, so Flare Blitz, that's False Surrender. I always do that. Flare Blitz, Snarl. So now you're able to reduce special attack damage. This is why Arcanine's so good on a team like this. You have Wo-Chien reducing attack, you have Intimidate, and you have Snarl, and you get Will-O-Wisp. All right, and then you get Protect. It just makes the team a little bit harder to remove. Okay, if you want Extreme Speed, I think you have to get rid of one of these two moves. So I think maybe even Will-O-Wisp might have to go because, you have a Intimidate and Wo-Chien already. So if you want to put Extreme Speed in the Will-O-Wisp slot, you're definitely more than welcome to do that. But then I would just go like Adamant Arcanine in that case, right? But from there, if you just like Will-O-Wisp, I think it's really, really good. Still very, very nice. All right, Iron Hands over here. So Assault Vest, Iron Hands, along with Fake Out Pressure, really, really good. And then just a standard set with Wild Charge, Drain Punch, and Volt Switch, just so that you can play with the Palafin mode a little bit, okay? And in terms of Terra options here, again, if you want to do Terra Dark, Terra Water, Gothitelle, you're definitely more than welcome to do that. Even Terra Fairy, Gothitelle makes a lot of sense, just to resist the dark damage. So, feel free to do that. Terra Steel is the popular one at the moment, so if you want Terra Steel, definitely consider doing that. I'll leave it Steel, but if you, the viewer, want Terra Fairy or some of the other options, definitely consider that. But Fluttermane, this one will definitely do Terra Fairy. I think, a little bit more damage off Moonblast is really nice. Palafin here, Terra Water, really nice. If you want Terra Grass, just to resist the electric and grass damage, that's also really good. And then you can also get around the Among Us that way. So if you want that, definitely consider that. So, I can even just change this right now. So you have that defensive typing for that matter. It's really nice against the Iron Hand stuff if you can just take one of those moves. So I'll leave it as Terra Grass. Arcanine here, again, we've done Terra Water already, and then to the Iron Hands here. So I have to pick one. Either I don't get burned or I don't get slept. So I'm going to choose the sleep one because I have Trick Room mode. I hate Among Us. I want to get around it. So I'm just going to pick the grass. If they burn me, they burn me. All right, so be it. Okay. But other than that, I think this is the 6 that we're going to go with in terms of like construction of this kind of team with Wo-Chien. So now I'm just going to show you some very general EV spreads just so that you can use this team and hop on the ladder immediately and then start playing the games. All right, so let's take a look at some of this stuff. All right, I'm going to start here with the Fluttermane actually just because it's the easiest one. And I'm just going to go straight to it, 252, 252. So this way, at the very least, I can get the leg up on, the slower, modest Fluttermanes. They're going to deal more damage, of course, but I'm going to have the speed, which is also important. So that one's done. Now we'll go to Wo-Chien. So basically, I like max HP on Wo-Chien like this. You need as much bulk as you can when you're playing this kind of snail. I think it's a snail, right? Yeah, it is a snail. And you have the good defensive bulk already. So honestly, I'm just more worried about the special defense, even though its special defense is really high. And I'm just going to go not careful because we have a special, we have Pollen Puff over there. So I'm going to go with the other one. I'm going to go Calm because we don't have any physical attacks anyway. So with Calm Nature, now the idea is this. I want to calc for some strong hits. I'm not worried about Iron Hands, Drain Punch. I'm definitely going to live that because 1, I have Arcanine, and 2, I have Tablets of Ruin. So I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about the special attacking stuff. So something like a Fluttermane Moonblast is going to scare me. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the damage calculator. I'm going to go into, Wo-Chien here. And I'm going to go into a blank set here. And let me see how I match up against timid Choice Specs Fluttermane over here. So right now I die. Okay, you can clearly see that. 121 to 143%. But now what I'm going to do... Oh, wait, I forgot to put HP. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Calm. Okay, and it's a pretty good roll right now, 56. So now I just have to raise this and see where I can get this, where I can live this attack. Okay, so we're keeping the plus sign here. We're getting close. We're definitely going to live this Moonblast right here. So 132 investment is all I need in terms of like, surviving this. And again, I just want to make sure that I don't hit the bump. All right, so I get the bump here. So here's the benchmark. 185 to 187, you increase by 2 points. And again, if you don't know what EV benchmarks are or EV bumps are, comment in the comment section because it's very important if you're playing competitive Pokemon, and if you're a newer player, you have to understand what EV benchmarks are or EV bumps. So if you don't know what they are, comment and ask me, and I'll reply, of course. All right, but again, 132 investment, that's what we need. We're past the bump, but that's what we need to survive the Fluttermane stuff. And then honestly, from there, that's really all you need. 1 point in defense, 1 point in speed. Not defense, I'm sorry. 1 point in special attack and speed, because we're not really like trying to outspeed things or exert super amounts of special attacking pressure. We just want to be able to survive, stay on the field, click Leech Seed, click Foul Play when necessary, and heal our other slot, and just be overall supportive in terms of the way we can play this. All right, so that's our Wo-Chien set. Just calc to survive the Fluttermane stuff, and if you're still afraid of it, you can always just switch to Terra Poison, and then you're okay. Gothitelle here, so I'm just going to use the same Gothitelle set that we gave to Philip, where he used our Tyranitar Gothitelle Sylveon team to, again, get 40 CP points out of the Knoxville Regional. So it's a spread that has worked before, and he's been still top cutting other tournaments since then. So it's a spread that we're still going to rely on because it's so good, and he's been surviving with it. So again, Calm Nature, once again, just like the Wo-Chien. Okay, just 1 point in special attack, 1 point in speed, same idea. And we're just going to go to 176 as opposed to 177 HP. This is so that we get a nice even number for the Citrus Berry recovery, because again, it's 1/4 of your max HP. We don't want any decimal numbers. We want whole numbers only, because when you get a decimal, it rounds it down. I don't want my HP to round down when I'm getting Citrus Berry Recovery. I want exact numbers, okay? So that means I would be wasting EVs if it wasn't an exact number. So that's the reason there, and then I save myself an EV over there. So then from here, I'm just gonna go to the benchmark, and here's the first one, 152, 154, 76 investment, then another 80 EVs for every benchmark you wanna hit. So 156 is the target. See how you go from 165 to 163 to 165 in terms of the stat. You go up by 2 points, and then the rest just goes into defense like this. All right, Bulky got the tail spread. Fluttermane, we did already. Palafin, so again, hidden, we just want almost max HP and a lot of attack. So Adamant Nature for sure. The benchmark is right here at 236. All right, and then we just need 1 point in defense, 1 point in special defense, and then here you just have to divide up the 264 that's remaining. I just want a little bit of speed on Palafin. I don't need so much. I think this is all we need out of our Palafin set, and it's almost max HP. This is just so that, you know, a lot of target Pokemon are going for 127 because after a +1 boost, whether it be Icy Wind support or anything like that, they want to outspeed the Roaring Moon stuff, right? The Jolly Roaring Moon stuff. So I want to outspeed those speed creepers and just go a little bit more above and just go to 68 right there. All right, that's really my objective. Arcanine over here. So the main thing with Arcanine is with Careful Nature, I want to survive the Hydro Pump from an Iron Bundle, okay? So it's going to be max HP, and once again, I go into the damage calculator and show you how I figure out how much HP or how much investment I need to put into my Arcanine set to be able to live that Iron Bundle Hydro Pump. So here we go. Again, this is a damage calculator. Wait, I think I have it as standard bundle here. Okay, so you can see right here, Iron Bundle, I get smacked. All right, with the Hydro Pump, I put 252 HP, getting better. I put Careful Nature, all right, getting better. And now I just have to see how much investment I have to put just to survive this 252 Timid Hydro Pump Iron Bundle. All right, right here, 172 investment will let me live, so that's important. So that's what we're gonna put here. And from here, now I just have 84 EVs left to play with. So 1 point in the attack. I'm not really trying to do that much damage. Just a little bit of speed, and then the rest just goes into defense, just a little bit more bulk. If you don't want that much defense and you just want to be a little bit more faster, you're more than welcome to do that. But I feel like, you know, with Arcanine, we just need defense. We just need a little bit of defense, not really that much speed. We're just meant to be annoying, kind of like the Wo-Chien stuff. Again, the goal is to like Leech Seed stuff and Perish Stings. So anytime you can get more bulk and just stay on the field, that's how you want to play this team. Okay, Iron Hands. So again, with the Iron Hands, I'm just thinking about surviving the Moonblast from Fluttermane, but Modest Nature, okay? So we're gonna go with Adamant Nature. We're gonna have a little bit of speed just so that we have a faster fake out than other Iron Hands. We outspeed other King Gambits because they're also within our speed tier. So that's the reason why we put this much speed, just a little bit. 76 investment. This will allow us to go to 239, which will optimize against weather damage. Tyrannitars are running around like crazy right now, so anytime we can optimize the sand chip damage, we're gonna do it, and we're doing that here with the Iron Hands. But then how much special defense do I need with the Assault Vest to survive the Moonblast Choice Specs Fluttermane? All right, so let's take a look at that. So here we go, Iron Hands. Okay, we go with a blank set here. I go 76 investment, of course, and then I have an Assault Vest. Where are you? There you are, and then I go to Fluttermane over here, and I'll just put standard Flutter, but I'm just gonna make it Choice Specs, of course, and I'm gonna go Modest Nature rather than Timid this time. So, because the other one, I die from Timid if I was Wo-Chien, so I figured let me just live Timid, Modest. All right, you know what I mean. Anyway, the Fluttermane here. So if I have Moonblast, all right, Moonblast. Okay, I die, but you can see, like, not really. I can still survive this if I just invest a lot of defense. Special defense, I mean. So let's see how much I need. I'm getting there. All right, the calc is within reach. All right, getting closer, and right there, I have it. So 172 investment, just like the Arcanine, by the way. So that's pretty cool. So 172 investment, and then you can see, oh, look, 240 investment. How very convenient, right? Because I'm gonna hit the bump here with 236. See how you go from 207 attack to 209, adding 2 points into your attack. Now you just have 1 point in defense, and now your EVs round out very nicely. So that's why I like this Iron set quite a bit. You know, because of the Assault Vest, it lets you, have some pretty much perfect EVs. And that's it. That's how we build a team. See how fast we were able to do these EVs? We're just going for benchmarks, you know, and a couple of damage calcs at the very least. And this is how you start a team to just jump on ladder and start testing stuff, right? So let me just show you this squad again on the screen here. And again, we're going to put this in the video description. So if you want to use it, you know, definitely give it a go. But what I want to do, at least before I end the video, is at least show you one test game where we do use this team. So this way you can see kind of how it works, at least with one game. You know, I don't want to play too many games because the video is going to be long enough as it is. So at the very least, let's play one game on Showdown Ladder just to see how it goes. Okay, so here's one kind of matchup. And again, this is Great Tusk and Iron Hands. I feel like you want a dragon on this, whether it be Roaring Moon or maybe even like a Flutter Mane here. I don't know if you need like Rotom Wash over here. You know, Rotom had its time in the sun, but this is just not the format for it at the moment. I feel like either a bundle or a dragon over here would do really, really nice. And it's relatively slow and bulky team. There's not a lot of speed control here, unless the Arcanine has like extreme speed and Sucker Punch play, I guess. But I feel like you need something here, like either Talonflame or some kind of speed control, but he doesn't really have it. So I'm just going to go standard here with like Iron Hands Palafin. I feel like Palafin can do a lot into his team, especially against the Great Tusk and the Arcanine stuff. And then from there, the Wo-Chien is really good just to click Leech Seed and Foul Play on a lot of his physical, you know, big hitters. And then we can bring in the Arcanine to not only Will-O-Wisp them, but also, you know, and just intimidate them in general. Because I'm looking at his team, the offense is coming from the Iron Hands and the Great Tusk. So if any kind of play where you can just reduce that and pressure them, then you're fine. I'm not really worried about the Amoonguss or the Arcanine here, or even like the Rotom. We'll be okay there. So here we go. Iron Hands and the Palafin, and then he goes with the King Gambit and the Rotom. So, you know, he probably wanted to counter my Arcanine lead, but that's okay. I have it in the back, by the way. But at the very least, what we can do is, again, the Rotom does pressure the Palafin a little bit. I'm going to hard switch it, and I'm going to just fake out the Rotom here. I don't really care what the King Gambit does. All right, so I'm going to go into Wo-Chien here, and I'm just going to fake out the Rotom here. He goes into Amoonguss, interestingly enough. That's okay, and that's good for me because you can't sleep my Wo-Chien. I'm going to go Terra Grass here on the Iron Hands just in case he wanted to click Spore. But the Rotom has Willows, so that's unfortunate for me. All right, but at least he can't Spore me. But then I can just Leech Seed the Rotom and then I'm okay, and there's some Drain Punch chip damage, right? So I say he gets a little bit of the better turn there just because he burns my Iron Hands, but I do Leech Seed his Rotom, so at the very least I get some chip damage there. All right, and there's the Pollen Puff, does deal a lot into my Wo-Chien, so you know, that's okay. But from here, again, we just want to repivot our Iron Hands out. It's not really doing any damage here. Goes into his own Iron Hands, which is fine. I do a little bit of damage into the Amoonguss, and the reason why I'm dealing damage into the Amoonguss is just so that when I bring in my Arcanine, like right now, because one, I intimidate his Iron Hands, and two, I want to put this in Flare Blitz range, so any kind of chip damage I can get on the Amoonguss is very much appreciated, right? So, Pollen Puff, chipping my Arcanine, that's okay. So now, with the next turn, you know, I just want to, like, burn the Iron Hands first, alright, so this way I don't have to worry about it, and I seed it, and it goes for Swords Dance. Oh, that's so greedy, right? And he spores my Arcanine, but we have a safety goggles. So that was a pretty good turn. You know, he does Swords Dance, but that's okay, right? Because again, we have Foul Play. So if he wants to keep doing that just to mitigate the burn damage, that's fine, okay? And we did also seed it. So, you know, eventually all these boosts, he probably has to switch that out at some point if he wants to, you know, remove that. But we're fine. Okay, Arcanine's doing its job right here. So I want to chip the Amoonguss now with the Flare Blitz, and it still lives, so it's probably like some kind of relaxed nature, but, you know, the Arcanine doesn't really have much attack investment anyway, so go figure. Okay, and again, Pollen Puff here just to heal my Arcanine, which is, again, the benefit of Wo-Chien. Does another Swords Dance, right? He's trying to mitigate his damage, that burn. So that's ideally what he wants. Maybe he calls a switch. I don't know why he spores that slot again, but I just want, again, just to keep dealing damage and remove this Amoonguss, but he switches into Rotom. Good switch there. Okay. Able to resist that. Procs his Berry. That's fine. And Foul Play, and does so much damage into his Iron Hands. Look at that. 2.5 attack. And if it wasn't for my ability, it might have even just picked him up, but that's okay. Goes for Drain Punch. Does a lot, but because of the burn and because of our ability, it doesn't do as much. And we have the leftovers and the Leech Seed, so we're back in the green here. Alright, so Wo-Chien doing the job, and we protect one turn at the very least. I want to Snarl the Rotom just so that it doesn't do so much damage, and, you know, because I don't know if Hydro Pump can pick us up here, but I don't think it can anyway. All right, and there it is. And yeah, again, it just doesn't do that much damage. And he definitely was going into the Wo-Chien slot. So good play from the Arcanine and Wo-Chien right now. This combination is really well. We pick up the Iron Hands now because I don't want to have to deal with it later. I can always Pollen Puff my Arcanine, but I just want to see the Rotom here just in case the Hydro Pump does pick up. So I'm trying to play the best of both worlds here. All right, but luckily he misses it, so that's very fortunate. And here's the seed, and he's already -1. We've already removed the Iron Hands. He has a Kingambit in the back, but because the Arcanine's already out on the field, we can pressure that slot anyway, and then just click Foul Play into it, and it should do a decent amount of damage, and even seed it as well. So knowing that, he probably just forfeits, which he does, and we pick up the win there. So again, the Arcanine Wo-Chien combination works. Again, you just Will-O-Wisp things, you Leech Seed stuff, you Snarl things, everything gets chipped, everything loses health, Wo-Chien recovers, and the Arcanine is just able to support the Wo-Chien in this case, right? And in the back, we always have the Iron Hands, Palafin stuff, just to clean up, in the end game. And that's how you play the non-perish way of this team, right? We left the Gothitelle and Fluttermane behind. But if you wanted to play that mode, again, just pick up the team and see how you do with it. But now, let's go back to the Pokepaste and get you guys out of here. All right, so once again, guys, here's the team. Give it a go. Let me know how you do. If you got an upcoming tournament and you need a team, definitely use this team or use the other team, the other 2 teams that we made on the channel. At some point, they're probably going to be Rentacles. I may adjust them a little bit as the weeks go on, just because, there's some time for the meta to change. But as far as like right now, pick this up, try it, get used to it. And this way you can get used to the meta at the very least, because you have a team already that you can use to play. And if you're interested in building your own Series 3 regulationC team, whatever you want to call it, and if you're trying to go to a regional, again, check out coaching on the channel, where we sit down in a Discord call one-on-one and we hash out a team. We do the EVs from scratch, just like we do in this video, and then we get you the squad that you need to be able to play into those competitions, or just something for ladder in general. But if you already have a team already that you just want me to look at and fix up a little bit, that's a tier 2 sub to the channel, so definitely take a look at that. And again, both the tier 2 and the tier 3 subs are in the video description. Click the link, join the channel, or in the comment section, I always pin a comment where you can click that link as well, or every single video has a join button, same thing. So 3 different ways to join the channel, and click that tier 2 or tier 3 sub. All right, but in the meantime, we'll be back with another video in the next one, guys. Peace out and have a good night.